Let's go ahead and dive into the 3.9 update.
Hello everyone, Joe Neat, Executive Producer on Sea of Thieves here. So firstly, I just wanted to start with a little bit of a look back at Shrouded Spoils. It's been incredible to see the impact that it's had on Sea of Thieves. I've just finished doing a team update to our team, kind of in our all hands area, just taking them through a kind of look back at the previous year and also through our plans that are kind of coming up. But part of that was really looking at Shrouded Spoils and the impact that this has had. And so obviously, that's really promising for us as we look to the future of Sea of Thieves and we look at all the things that we're working on across the team. One of the main things that obviously we're working on is Arena.
Ah, yes! News on Arena, please.
Next step for Arena is to get it into Pioneers, into our testing program.
You haven't even sent it to Pioneers yet?
So that we can start iterating and getting feedback, because it is a very different way to play. But I had a playtest on this morning, like one of the first ones of the new year actually, and again really promising, so much fun, a really different feel, the kind of adrenaline and the energy that I felt from playing the session and then coming and having kind of a feedback discussion with everyone that had played.
Well, yeah, I've watched Joe Need play in his streams. He's definitely a good player, and some of his colleagues as well. But they're not like really like looking to be like very aggressive and like do three different pirates job at once, soloing. I'm glad that he thinks it's going to be a thrilling experience. Because that's exactly what we need. Is we need some fucking life into this game, because once you've learned how to play the game, once you've mastered more or less everything, which I can definitely with confidence say I've mastered pretty much everything in the game there is to do, the excitement and the thrill of the game is really what I play Sea of Thieves for. I play it for the thrill. I think the arena is definitely all about thrill, and if it's not thrilling, it's just, I don't know. That's really what I want, and it looks like maybe it is what it is, but...
Like super cool, really, really exciting. And so all of our energy right now is just making sure we get that into a state that we can ship to Pioneers and we can start that iteration process, because it's going to be something that when we get into Pioneers, we know we're going to get lots of feedback on. We know we're going to want to grow it and build it with Pioneers before we eventually release it to the wider audience. So yeah, key next step is to do that, and that's where all of our energies are focused right now on the arena.
Yeah, your energy better be in the fucking arena, because if you nail that, I honestly would not be surprised if you can. I would not be surprised if the arena update of Sea of Thieves would bring Sea of Thieves to a competitive standing against the popularity of the Fortnite Battle Royale. Because look at Fortnite and look at Sea of Thieves. Both of them have a PvE game mode, and both of them now are going to have a PvP once the arena is released. Whereas the PvE, has some PvP aspects to it, but you're on the same team. Whereas Sea of Thieves has a little more of that PvP already built into its world. But think about it, if the arena has a leaderboard and it has a lot more competitiveness to it, and it being this balanced game where everyone is on the same level and there is no kind of grind equals you have more opportunities to beat other players. Similarly to how Fortnite also, you start with the same thing that everyone else starts. Everything you buy in the game is skins. That's what makes the game appealing to all audiences, and that's what makes the game exciting for new players, and they don't feel like they have an innate disadvantage to maybe experienced players. That games that create that kind of balance are the games that have the most success and the most popularity right now. So bringing in an arena game mode into Sea of Thieves is, I think, a huge bloom opportunity for Sea of Thieves, and could possibly surpass Fortnite Battle Royale. I hope it does, because I like Sea of Thieves better than Fortnite. At least I've enjoyed playing the Sea of Thieves more, and I feel like Sea of Thieves has a little more of the aesthetic that I like in that kind of game. There is a huge amount of potential, a huge level. There could be literally almost no effect onto the community, and it could be a complete flop. Or it could be the most biggest revolutionary thing that could surpass Fortnite viewership on stream, on Twitch. And there could become World Cups for the game. I mean, the amount of success from this kind of motion from Rare could be absolutely absolutely out of this world. But the amount of flop there could be could be completely minuscule and unaffecting game player base and the game itself pretty much at all. And just add 50 more levels of grinding. So we'll have to see.
Part of my responsibility as the EP on the project was to pull together kind of all of our plans for Sea of Thieves and present them to the entire team, let people know what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, when we're doing what we're doing. And so we took people through that today, which was really cool and really great to kind of see the energy and excitement across the team. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on across the team, and we're not quite ready to talk about it yet. There's a lot of exciting stuff across a lot of different areas of the game to be kind of entering this year with all of the possibilities in front of us. To take this opportunity to go through a few of the key feedback points that we've seen on the game recently that we're working on addressing at the moment. So first of those is the kind of double gun thing that you can use where...
Badum. Shots fired in literal and figurative sense. Let's go! Is it nerf time? Is it nerf time for the double gun? Double gun? Is it nerf time?
Kind of get two shots off so quickly that it ultimately amounts to like a single shot kill. We've seen a lot of players starting to use this, and this is never our intended design.
Yes! Oh, thank you, Jonit. Thank you. You are literally the Jesus Christ of Sea of Thieves. I swear to God. He always knows. He always knows what's right for the game. This has never been our intention. Exactly. Thank God. We don't want this to be no Fortnite, no shotgun swamping weapons, no abusive technicalities and mechanics. Just Sea of Thieves, real generic game, please.
Different weapons that we have all been balanced, all been tuned so that you have to do multiple shots and they have different damage, different range, etc. The way this is working is not intended and it's not as designed. We've got a couple of kind of options that we're working on at the moment, but you will not be able to use this in the future once we've applied a fix and we've rolled this out into one of our game updates. It was never our design intent, and we really don't like that as a play come across another player and effectively one-shot kill them, because that was never the design intent, and that's the real issue here that we're trying to address.
Yeah, thank God. Because double gun was really pissing me off and really triggering me, because I don't want to play the game like that, and it turns it into kind of this just shooter who's slightly better than somebody else, and it just made the sword so weak compared to the double gun that it made it much harder to climb ladders without and survive, nullified a lot of the different ways that you can outplay your opponents. Right now, the one-shot equivalent of a double gun is the sniper and switch to your sword and swing. If you shoot to the head, you get a one-shot, of course. But I think if you're not scoped, if you shoot them in the body or whatever with the sniper, and you swing with them once with the sword, you get a single kill, which is fair because point blank, you should, if somebody's not paying attention, you should be able to get away with something like that. But being able to double gun and repair and do this over and over, no matter what the scenario or what your position is on the ship, or if you have any sort of advantage, is pretty unfair, because there isn't any other way to really kill other players other than guns and swords at the moment. Everything else is more or less oriented around you have to carry a keg, which makes you very much more vulnerable, and there isn't really a way to outplay that strategy. And the fact that the guns have a knockback, both of the guns have a knockback on them, is also absurd and makes the sword completely unviable if you really look at the ultimate sense of the competitive side of the PvP. I think my suggestion personally would be that if you have double gun equipped, that you cannot swap to the other gun until you've reloaded the previous one. But that if you have a sword in your inventory, that then you can swap to the sword without having to reload the gun first. So say that if you have two guns, what you would be able to do is, if you use your sniper first, you wouldn't be able to swap to your pistol until you finished fully reloading the sniper. That way you are allowed to have basically 10 ammo on you and the ability to have 10 ranged shots instead of just 5. You get double the amount of ammo available to you and you can get 10 ammo right away from an ammo box is what your advantage is going to be, instead of having the advantage of having a lot of DPS and just a lot of burst damage. I think that would be the most fair way of doing it. The other way you could do it is that you would allow people to swap weapons without finishing reloading, but that there would be much more weapon swap time in general. But that would also kind of nerf sword, because you want to be able to shoot a gun and instantly switch to your sword generally. Maybe they'll nerf that as well, but then I think still double gun would be pretty powerful, and I think people would still prefer double gun. I think swapping weapons should be nerfed for when you have two guns, and not nerfed when you have sword and gun. I think that's the most fair way of doing it, because I think the sword aspect of it is very, very fun, and I think a big uh, display of skill in the game. So that's my opinion on it. We'll see what they do with it, but I'm glad that he mentions that he will be nerfing that, because I think players shouldn't be encouraged to keep abusing that.
That we're working on is giving players who are streaming the game the option to disable gamer tags appearing for any other crews and players they encounter in the world. And this is really to prevent the possibility of stream sniping. We're very serious about addressing stream sniping and giving everyone the opportunity to share their stories in the way that they want. Another bit of feedback we had was around the recent players option kind of on Xbox Live not always working. Really exciting time, loads of incredible things going on at the studio, and we can't wait until we're able to share that with you. But until then, I will see you on the seas. Cheers.
Yeah, that's very cool, and I'm glad that they're also addressing the stream sniping, which has been a big issue for a lot of competitive streamers for Sea of Thieves, and just a lot of serious players that are trying to pull off some things that where information about where the streamer is on the map, or is very, very important. Like Summit, he'll do a lot of sneaky things, and if anybody knows exactly where he is on and in which server he's on, that completely ruins his entire strategy, and ruins the kind of thrill that he brings into his streams. Anyway, so that was the two updates. I am very much looking forward to the namer tag removal and the fix of nerfing the double gun strat. I'm very happy that they're going to be taking care of that. That has been a problem for a while, and it just needs some kind of patch and some kind of fix, some kind of change. I'm looking forward to the arena. I'm glad that they're working on this. Hopefully they'll soon release it to the Pioneer program. I'm not part of the Pioneer program because I want to play the game authentically the way that Rare releases it, and I don't want to feel down about updates that get released to Pioneers and never make into the game. I'd rather just get what is going to be in the game for sure, and never have disappointments about things I might experience in the game that never get released. And also, it would be much harder for me to do the DUR series if I knew about things that are going to be released in the game, and having to think about what I can say, what I can't say. I would have to not talk about certain things that I might know about, and it would be very difficult to make speculations. So being a pioneer would be a conflict of interest with my reviewing and my anticipating the changes that Sea of Thieves might bring into the game. So that's the reason I'm not a pioneer. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this update. Next time an update comes out, I will be making a recording, a DUR review video on it, and will try my best to release the review the day of the upload from Sea of Thieves YouTube. From the day of the upload from the Sea of Thieves YouTube channel. The day of the... Oh my god, this tongue twister. The day of the release of the YouTube video from Sea of Thieves YouTube's channel. Without further ado, thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time. Foxy out.